At first glance, it looked like an ordinary work truck. White cab, flatbed back, the kind of truck you see every day on repair calls and construction runs. But on March 28, 2025, that truck was involved in one of the most destructive pursuit vehicles Los Angeles had seen in a long time. This was not a sleek sports car. It was not a stolen luxury SUV flying down an empty freeway. It was a heavy, flatbed work truck. It was damaged at the front, and it was being driven through traffic like a battering ram. And by the time it reached Long Beach, the road behind it was filled with wrecked cars. The story began hours before the live cameras caught the chase. The suspect was identified as Adam James Bowen. He had been involved in a violent crime spree. He was accused of carjacking a tow truck operator and tried to run him over. Then, hours later, another truck was stolen. This time, it was a white flatbed work truck. The owner, Ricardo Colindres, had dropped off parts at an auto body shop in South Los Angeles and gone inside to collect money. The truck was left running in the lot. Then someone came onto the property, got into the truck, and drove away. But there was one important detail the suspect may not have counted on. The owner's phone was still inside. That phone allowed the truck's location to be tracked. Around 2:45 p.m., the pursuit began near the Harbor 110 freeway and Adams Street. From there, the truck moved through Los Angeles County, first on surface streets and then toward the freeway system. The driver eventually got onto the 605 freeway. At times, the truck topped 100 miles per hour. That alone was dangerous. A flatbed truck is not built for quick, evasive moves. It is heavy, it is wide, it does not stop like a small car. And this truck was now being pushed through traffic at freeway speeds. The pursuit moved into the Whittier area. The driver used the shoulder, then exited at Whittier Boulevard. Once back on surface streets, the danger increased. The truck drove on the wrong side of the road. It clipped cars. It went over medians. It moved through traffic with almost no regard for anyone around it. Every few seconds, it looked like the chase might end in a crash, but each time the driver kept going. Then the pursuit entered Long Beach, and that is when it became chaos. On 7th Street near Bellflower Boulevard, the truck drove over a median divider and sideswiped several vehicles. Cars that had nothing to do with the chase were suddenly being hit, pushed, scraped, and left damaged in the road. Still, the driver continued. The truck kept moving down 7th Street. He narrowly missed other cars as it forced its way through traffic. Then, at 7th Street and Park Avenue, the suspect drove on the wrong side of the road and collided head-on with an SUV. For most drivers, that would have been the end, but not here. Even after the crash, the suspect kept driving. By now, the truck had a flat front tire. It was damaged. It was harder to control, but the driver still pushed forward. Then came the final scene. At 7th Street and Termino Avenue, the truck ran a red light. In the intersection, it slammed into two vehicles. The crash was violent. One vehicle was struck hard, and a pedestrian nearby was missed by just a few feet. The impact sent the flatbed truck up over the curb and into the parking lot of a Sherwin-Williams paint store. It finally came to rest against a concrete barrier near the front of the building. After all that destruction, the driver opened the door, and instead of collapsing, surrendering, or staying near the truck, he simply walked away. Slowly, almost casually. For a moment, it looked unreal. Behind him was a destroyed truck, multiple damaged cars, injured people, and officers closing in. But he kept walking down the street as if he could still disappear. He made it about a block. Then officers caught up. They tackled him near Miramar Avenue and 8th Street. Several officers moved in. There was a struggle on the ground before they finally took him into custody. At least one officer was injured during the arrest. One of the drivers hit near the end of the pursuit was also taken to hospital. Paramedics treated the suspect at the scene. Days later, prosecutors announced 11 felony charges against Adam James Bowen, including attempted murder, carjacking, assault with a deadly weapon, hit and run causing serious injury, fleeing police, resisting arrest, and grand theft auto.